Hey everybody and welcome. I am so excited because today we are jumping into an absolutely hilarious and super smart book. It's called Oh No, Not Again by the amazing duo Barnett and Santat. So get ready because we're about to go on a wild time-traveling adventure that's all about making mistakes.
Okay, let me ask you something. Imagine you make one tiny little mistake. What do? I mean, would you decide to build a full-on time machine just to go back and fix it? It sounds crazy, right? Well, that is exactly what our main character in this story decides to do.
So yeah, this book is really all about having huge reactions to pretty small problems. We're going to meet this brilliant girl. I mean, she's a total genius inventor. But she's got this one little problem. She just cannot stand being anything less than perfect.
And this right here is what she says when she gets her history test back. What a disaster. Wow. You can just feel the drama, can't you? She's acting like it's the end of the world. But what grade do you think she actually got?
She got an A, a big, awesome A. You know, most of us would be pretty thrilled with that, right? High fives all around. But not her, because it wasn't a complete 100%, she saw it as a complete catastrophe. It just goes to show, sometimes the things we worry about are actually pretty great.
So, what does a super genius do about the disaster of getting an A? Well, she comes up with a solution that is, let's just say it's a little bonkers. She decides the only way to fix her one wrong answer is to literally go back and change the past. And you know, this brings us right to the big idea of the entire book. It's that sometimes, when we try so hard to be perfect, we end up making things a whole lot more complicated and messy than they ever needed to be. I mean, just look at the difference here. The simple fix? Just say, oops, and maybe study a little more for the next test. Easy. Her fix? It's like using a giant bulldozer to move a tiny little pebble. She builds a time machine to travel thousands and thousands of years into the past, all to make her one answer right.
But her trip through time is, well, it's a bit of a bumpy ride. First, she zips way too far back, to 25 million BCE. Whoops. Then she tries again and lands in 1815, which is not nearly far enough. Finally, she lands in 33,000 BCE. Perfect. Now she's ready to teach some cavemen all about art history.
So here's the thing about messing around with the past. It doesn't always go as planned. In fact, her tiny little fix to get one test question right ends up causing, well, a whole lot of chaos.
When she finally gets back to her own time, the world is totally topsy-turvy. Because of what she did, the world's oldest cave paintings aren't just in Belgium anymore. Nope, now you can find them on the pyramids in Egypt, and even on the moon. She didn't just fix one answer, she completely scrambled history. So, what happened to her history test? Did her plan work? Oh boy, did it ever backfire. Sure, she got that first question right. The oldest cave paintings are now in Belgium. But because she messed up all of history, she got 16 other questions wrong. So her final grade? It wasn't an A anymore. It was an F.
Okay, so this is more than just a funny story about time travel chaos. So what can we all learn from this? This is where the book gives us some really smart tips for being, perfectly imperfect.
All right, check out these awesome tips. First, ask yourself, am I using a bulldozer to move a pebble? In other words, is my reaction way bigger than the actual problem? Second, try the 24-hour rule. Just wait a day before you react to a small mistake. You might realize it's no big deal. Third, practice being good enough. And my favorite, when you do make a mistake, just say out loud, that's how I learn. It's a total game changer.
And now for the super fun part. It's one thing to talk about these ideas, but it's even better to play with them. So here are a few fun things you can do to practice being okay with your own awesome mistakes. First up, grab some paper and draw your own silly time machine. What kind of crazy invention would you build for a tiny problem? Next, try the good enough challenge. Just do one thing each day that's good but not perfect. And third, this one's my favorite, ask a grown-up to tell you a story about a funny mistake they made. I promise you'll find out that everyone makes some. So, if you love this story and want to keep thinking about these big ideas, we've got some great book recommendations for you, and a few notes for any grown-ups who are watching. All right, if you're looking for your next read, definitely check out The Most Magnificent Thing by Ashley Spires. It's all about what to do when your inventions don't work right the first time.
Another amazing one is Beautiful Oops by Barney Salzberg. It's so cool. It shows you how spills and rips can turn into the most beautiful art.
And for all the parents and teachers out there, just remember, this book is such a great tool. It's a perfect way to start a conversation about resilience and to remind kids that who they are has nothing to do with getting a perfect score. Mistakes aren't failures. They're just opportunities to learn.
And that leaves us with one last big question to think about together. What really is the difference between doing your best and trying to be perfect? It's a really good one to talk about.
So always remember, making mistakes doesn't just mean you're learning. It means you're trying. You are all amazing mistake makers. Thank you so much for joining me, and don't forget to follow and subscribe for lots more fun book adventures.